Now let us take a look at another sutram which prescribes this affix tumun, and this one is 33158, which reads Samanakartrikeshu tumun. Samanakartrikeshu tumun. And the vritti says Icharteshvekakartrikeshu upapadeshu dhatoho tumun syat. So it means Icharteshu ekakartrikeshu upapadeshu dhatoho tumun syat, which means that the affix tumun may be used following a verbal root, any verbal root in general, and in conjunction with another verbal root which denotes the sense of wish or to desire, provided both actions have the same agent. So that's the condition here. The anuvritti of ichartheshu comes down from the sutram 33157 into this sutram 33158. Now ichartheshu, which comes anuvritti from 33157, as well as samanakritrikeshu, which is in this sutram itself 33158, they are both ending in saptami bahuvachanam. So saptamyantam, you know what that means by the Paribhasha Sutram 3192, Tatropapadam Saptamistam, which says that Saptamyante Pade Karmanityada Vachatvena Sitam Yat Kumbhadi Tadvachakam Padam Upapadasanyam Syat. So designation of Upapadam is applied to a term which denotes a thing which is present in a word ending in the locative case in the sutram. So here we have Ichartheshu Anuvritti and then also Samanakritrikeshu, which is going together. So these are pointing to the upapadam. So therefore, in order to use this sutram, we have to have a padam. It doesn't have to be a tingantam padam, which contains a verbal root in the sense of wish or desire. And then the condition samanakritrikeshu says that verbal root has to have the same agent, the same doer, as the verbal root which is going to take the tumun. Let's take a quick example here just to see how this sutram applies. Take the example of ichchati bhoktum, means someone desires to eat, and the desire is for himself or herself to eat, not for someone else to eat. So someone desires for himself or herself to eat. So we do have this dhatu ish, which is in the sense of wish or desire, and in conjunction with that we have this dhatu bhuj, means to eat. So now this sutram allows us to use the affix tumun following this verbal root bhuj because it's in conjunction with this dhatu ish used in ichchati. So bhuj takes the pratyaya tumun and we derive the form bhuktum as follows. This verbal root bhuj is bhuja palana bhyavaharayoho. Palana bhyavaharayoho means to protect or to consume, to eat. So here it's used in the sense of consuming or eating. So we start with bhuj and add tumun by this sutram 33158. Now one thing to note here is that there is no kriyartha kriya involved over here. So we could not have used 3310 here to bring in the affix tumun because it's not like one action is being done for the sake of another future action. That condition is not there here at all. So 3310 would not work here. That is why we need this sutram 33158. So we have bhuj plus tumun, and as before we remove the letters of tumun. The nakara gets this sanya bahalantyam, the ukara gets this sanya by upadeshe janunasika it, and then tasya lopahas we got bhuj plus tum. Now 7 to 10 eka cha upadeshe nudata. It comes and stops the augment it, which would have been done for tumun by 7 to 35. Adhadhatukasye valade, that is stopped by 7 to 10 because this dhatu bhuj is nudatupadeshaha. In the list of verbal roots which are monosyllabic and end in a jakaraha, the ones which are nudatupadeshaha are tyaj, nijir, bhaja, bhanja, bhuja, bhrashja, mashja, yaja, yuja, ruja, ranja, vijir, swanja, Sanja Srijaha Panchadasha, and in that we do have this verbal root bhuj listed there. So this is Anudat Upadeshaha. So 7 to 10 Ekacha Upadesha Anudatta stops the Ragamaha. Then we proceed, we do the Gunadesha in place of the Ukaraha of the Angam Bhuj. By Puganda Lagupatasya Cha, the penultimate Ukaraha gets the Gunadeshaha Okaraha. So we have Bhuj plus Tum. And now Sandhikaryam we first apply Chohokuhu. The Jakaraha gets the Kavarga Adeshaha Gakaraha, which is followed by the Jhal letter Takara of Tumun. And finally we do Kharicha to bring in the Char Adeshaha, the Kakaraha in place of the Gakaraha of the Angam. And we get Bhok bhoktum. Now, as we have said before, bhoktum gets the pratipadika sanya by krit tadita samasascha 246, and it also gets the avyaya sanya by krinme jantaha. Krinme jantaha. Kastumun definitely has a krit sanya, the adhikara of kridating, and it ends in a makaraha. So this Pratipadikam bhoktum, which ends in the tumun pratyaya, gets the avyaya sanya. The vritti of the sutram says ichartheshu, and the vritti of ichartheshu coming down from 33157. So it doesn't have to be exactly verbal root ish. It could be any verbal root in the meaning of ish, to desire, to wish. So we could have easily had vashti bhoktum, vanchati bhoktum, etc. It also doesn't have to be a tingantam padam. You can also say bhoktum ichha, bhoktum vancha. So as long as there's a verbal root in conjunction, it doesn't have to be a tingantam padam, doesn't have to be exactly the verbal root ish. It has to be a verbal root in the meaning. It has to be a verbal root in the meaning of wishing or desiring. As long as the meaning is there, that's all we need. And in conjunction with that verbal root, then we can have another verbal root in conjunction with it that takes the affix tumun. So this is an important sutram, 33158. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 11 we have this. We have it in quite a few places. In chapter 11 we have it, verse number 3, drashtum ichchami te rupam. I desire to see your form. So drashtum ichchami, here we have ichchami, which is of course the verbal root ish itself. Icharthaka dhatuho. In conjunction with that, this dhatu drish has taken the affix tumun. By this sutram 33158, saman kartrikeshu tumun.